Very clear now that Christian nationalists who are working on Project 2025 are using Orban's policies as a playbook. Viktor Orban is someone that we should be terrified of and paying attention to. Now we know that the Heritage Foundation is the primary organizer of Project 2025. By now you have heard what their president, Kevin Roberts, said on a podcast recently. Roberts has been directly linked with Orban and his government. Orban proudly claims that Hungary is now a Christian democracy. And when you read about Orban's policies, you can see how Project 2025 is following his model. He opposes immigration. He supports traditional Christian family values and models, meaning he has actively worked to annihilate women's rights and the rights of the LGBTQIA+ community. At this point, it's basically illegal to be gay in Hungary. And Christian nationalists entrenched in the Republican Party have been moving towards Hungary's policies for years. CPAC has held 3 of their conferences in Hungary, with Mike Pence speaking at those conferences. It's also important to note what else Roberts said in that podcast. He said, quote, "The Supreme Court ruling on immunity is vital, and it's vital for a lot of reasons. Pay attention to the recent SCOTUS decisions that politicians can now accept bribes and call them tips. That shifted the power of protecting our natural resources and the environment in the hands of judges and away from the EPA. Don't forget, Project 2025 wants to eliminate the EPA and the Department of Education altogether, and basically gave the powers of a monarchy to our president. SCOTUS is actively working to clear the way for Project 2025 to go into action as soon as possible." Now, back to Orban. Orban came to America this year to visit Trump. He went to Washington, but not to meet with the president, but to meet with Christian nationalists entrenched in the Republican Party. It's clear that the Heritage Foundation and the Republicans, as well as Donald Trump, are aligning with Orban to enforce his policies in America, where they want to implement a Christian nationalist authoritarian agenda. Heather Cox Richardson does an amazing job in breaking this down in her letter today. Viktor Orban has provided the playbook for Project 2025, where he has not only annihilated human rights, he now controls the media. He rewrote the Constitution. He gerrymandered election districts to ensure that he will never leave office. When we tell you that this might be the final election where we have the full and accessible right to vote, we mean it. With the help of SCOTUS and Christian nationalists like Mike Johnson and all the human rights that are being eradicated in red states right now, Project 2025 is happening now, but it is not time to give up hope. Stay awake, use your voice, and vote.